absolutely unprecedented footage that will bring Ukraine a terrible headache. The town of Kupyansk has been in all the news lately. Western media, some of them almost announcing that the Russian Federation has lost it. The place where Ukraine dared to launch its counteroffensive, where it seems to be gaining ground against Russia by leaps and bounds. Military personnel from the Russian Federation sent a clear and forceful message to Ukraine. The Russian Ministry of Defense puts the ball in the court of the Kiev regime. They claim that they have control over the town of Kupyansk, where they are now positioned at key points. Ukraine. It was the only victory they had in months, if not the entire year. In this last phase of the special military operation, they had orders to take Kupiansk before December 31. It's the end of December, with only a few days left until that long-awaited date. And here, instead of a glorious Ukrainian flag appearing, soldiers from the Russian Federation show up and put an end to this matter.
Uran, I'm the commander of the Rota in the 1427 Division, right?
My call sign is Uranio-Uran in Russian. I am the commander of a unit of the Russian Federation, company number 14. And here I am.
I am in the city of Kupiansk on 1st of May Street, where I work with my team.
I am in the town of Kupiansk on 1st of May Street, where I am working very successfully with my men. Let's go.
We are definitely here, and we will be at our positions, in the village. Continuing to target young girls, especially those from the enemy who have infiltrated.
Listen, we are strongly rooted and well positioned in the area. We are and we were, and we will continue eliminating these small groups. And he emphasizes them, precisely small groups of the enemy that are hiding in the darkest holes of the area and that have blended in with the norm.
I am the commander of the 1486th Army Assassination Squad.
This is the commander of an assault group.
His call sign and that they have followed the protocol.
He says, my unit is carrying out the mission at the Kupiansk canning factory. I don't know if you remember that we reported a couple of days ago that even Russian sources were considering the position of the Russian Federation as lost. At this point in particular, we said Russia has withdrawn to the left bank of the Oskol River. It turns out that these men are now confirming the exact opposite and are providing key information. We remain exactly where we were positioned, leaving the ball in Ukraine's court.
As you can see, there is no killer here, and it can't be and never will be, as you can see.
There are no Ukrainian soldiers here. There can't be any, and there will never be any in the cabinet.
Do you still control Kupiansk? As shown, there are no Ukrainian soldiers here, and there never will be.
I'm the commander of Route 1855 from Granite, currently in the municipality.
Call sign Granite or Granito. He is also a commander of a military unit of the Russian Federation and says, now I am in the town of Kupiansk.
Attention!
He is showing what's behind him, because even though this looks like a simple building, it gives away his geographic location. He is sending a coded message. He says he's in the center of the town. He says it out loud, but he also shows his exact location.
Tasks are missing. He says victory will be ours and the enemy's.
My men are successfully accomplishing the objectives that have been assigned to them. The enemy will be defeated. The victory will be ours.
In central Kupiansk. My objectives are being successfully accomplished. The victory will be ours. The enemy will be defeated.
Commander of the 2nd Company, 1843, call sign Typhoon.
We are in Kupiansk.
Carrying out the clearing of buildings and basements.
We are currently in the city of Kupiansk, where we are clearing buildings and basements of small, separated enemy groups. And not only that, they're showing footage of how they're doing it. This is what you're seeing right now in your footage. It's Kupiansk seen from above, and the Russian Federation points to this footage to effectively demonstrate its control over most of the town. And here, in addition, we have the destruction of a position where several groups were located. Well, several Ukrainian soldiers. We're talking about between 10 and 20, quite a considerable group, and he was there trying to be relocated. But before that, as you can see, it ended up being destroyed by the soldiers of the Russian Federation. These have been the images, and now let's move on to the conclusions. The conclusions here are very, very strong. What we're talking about in this case is the fact that the Russian Federation, once again, has adapted to Western firepower. And it even seems that it has surpassed the West in this regard, particularly Ukraine. As a last attempt to achieve even a minimal victory before December 31st, because while Russia doesn't act based on dates, Ukraine does, and turns dates into something not just symbolic, but catastrophically fundamental. Russia clearly says yes, so let's play. For now, everything we knew about Kupyansk came from sources, some better than others. But we had hardly seen any images, except for those images of Volodymyr Zelensky at the entrance of the town, which, of course, are completely useless. Let's be clear, they could either be generated with artificial intelligence or, which is what I personally lean towards, quite staged. They might be from before the events and could be real, but let's remember the trail. Vladimir Putin already said this. The town's entrance is typically about 1 kilometer away. So a sudden appearance by Vladimir Zelensky doesn't say anything at all about the possible or impossible control of Ukrainian forces over any particular point in the town. But now the Russian Federation is sending the first very clear images of what is happening on the Kupiansk front. Ukraine, which until now had been reporting one victory after another, constantly feeding the Western media. And, of course, raising the ultimate doubt for Western taxpayers about whether they should keep supporting Ukraine. Because Ukraine still has a clear chance of winning the war against the Russian Federation now. Right now, Ukraine hasn't provided any images. And I'll tell you more, up to now, Ukraine hasn't provided any images, but the Russian Federation has. So now the ball is in their court. And this is where Russia's incredibly smart strategy comes in. This unparalleled psychological game, which is a true psychological operation, alongside a brilliant military operation. Because while Russia was there, whether going in or out of Kupyansk, with that absolute fog of war, they were taking control of other towns. It's true. I know for a fact he was very depressed. Firsthand, the Ukrainian counteroffensive in the town was absolutely real. The losses on the part of the Russian Federation were absolutely real as well. But Russia knew how to adapt to the situation. And he said, okay, from here on out, let's get everything we can out of this. Let's squeeze all the juice from this situation. Let's bring Ukraine as much as possible up to the town. We're not going to say anything until a key moment when they already think that absolutely everything is done, achieved, and accomplished. We're going to give them the final blow. Because right now, the Russian Federation has done exactly that. Only 3 or 4 days left until December 31st. Let's go. It's practically a matter of hours. It's that Ukraine now has to provide definitive proof that it really controls Kupyansk. Which exact points in the town? How many Ukrainian soldiers are going to be deployed now? A suicide mission just to be able to place that Ukrainian flag somewhere in Kupiansk and try to get those images that Ukraine needs right now? Desperately, they fell into their own trap. They decided to play the media game with the Russian Federation, counting on Russia to follow the same strategy as always. But today's Russia is no longer the Russia of 4 years ago. It's not the Russia that started the military operation, because the Russia that began the special military operation was focused on real facts, accomplished events, confirmed cases. It practically didn't play the media game, but it has learned over time, and now it wins both militarily and in the media. This also presents Ukraine with an unprecedented problem. And who knows how on earth it will or won't be able to solve many of them.